Okay, welcome everyone to our Unlimited Network Mastermind. Today is March 25, 2017, and here we are, committed to prosperity consciousness. And I love this deep understanding that is really about consciousness and nothing else. And it's up to us to fine tune with that frequency where scarcity is gone, where all is possible. So I'm excited about this week because it's been a tough week for me. I'm going to share a little bit with you, but I just want you to know, all of you, that we are studying this with Abraham-Hicks, higher consciousness that help us to understand the frequency of prosperity and abundance. And we are studying this beautiful book called The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent and the Living the Art of Allowing instead of having to make it. And I want to, just for the benefit of integrating our work a little more, I just want to go through, because we are seeing so many exercises, and I really see that the intention of Abraham in this case is to give us tools, you know, that we can feel better and that we can really be in alignment with what we desire here. So I remember we started the book Understanding. Personally, me was a huge jump on deep understanding and appreciation of the contrast. Like every time that we leave a situation that is not ideal, we know at that moment that we are targeting for the ideal situation. And if we don't align ourselves with that ideal situation, we are not going to feel very good. And that feeling frequency is the one that can attract the ideal situation or will keep us stuck into the old place, okay? So contrast, clear intention, and alignment with our desires. I think that's the basics, if you want, of all what we are studying right now. And all the exercises that we have, we, you know, like, how can I feel better? You know, how can I think better? How can I, whatever. So the thing is, we have an exercise that was titled, Wouldn't It Be Nice If? So let's say that you're in a situation and to really master this sentence, you know, like, it would be nice, you know, if this will be this way or this other way. So to really play with our imagination, our capacity to see beyond what we are seeing right now and be playful is really what I'm getting here, you know. Then we had another exercise where we could practice which thought feels better. So to detect, you know, like there was thoughts that are making you feeling good, more open, more hopeful, you know. Then we went to the wallet process that I want to share a little bit here because I practice that. And it's interesting to me that I had my bill in my wallet, you know, and I completely forgot to do it, to play with it. So I'm committed to do that this week too. And I started yesterday to play a little bit, you know, like to really allow my mind to imagine, and I have that money, you know, in the wallet, and oh, I could buy this if I choose to, you know, I could buy this if I choose to, I could buy this if I choose to, you know, to get familiar with that. So I cannot share with you the experience of it because I have not really played it, but it's interesting, you know. I started with the clear intention, blah, blah, and I'm doing this mastermind also with a group of people in Spain, in my language, in Spanish. And when I start to study the wallet process here, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I have that 100 bills in the wallet and I completely forgot to play with it, you know, to imagine things that I can buy or I cannot. So I have to tell you when I do it, how that feels, okay? But then we went to the focus will to ease, okay, will process last week. And that one I want to share with you because I don't know if you have done it or not, but offer us was about to see like a carousel, and then that's your desire. So if your desire is very speedy and your thought is very slow, you're going to try to jump into the desire and you're going to go to the bushes. I don't know if you remember, but that was the exercise last week. And really the idea is to detect, you know, what kind of story you tell yourself in a negative way and to switch it around, and then to find thoughts that, you know, can pull you on the top of the carousel, you know, like of your desire. And to me, I was playing last week, and I just want to share with you to give you an example of what I did here.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. Oh, there
I
you
can
are.
hear you now. Yes, 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 yes.
Uh,
Okay. Wow. So, and we keep recording? Yeah. Oh, okay. So now I see two faces here. I don't know what to do. But I continue. Can you hear me well, Jeren? Yes, yes. Okay, perfect. So I was just sharing the story. We got cut off, and I have a big case here. Okay, so I'm going to be patient with myself. But the story goes in my head, like money comes in and it is out in 1 second. Always something more that needs money. I feel frustrated. So what I don't want was the support here, is to not have extra money, to always go from the needy, like I need more, I need more, I need more. What I want is to always have more money than needed. So that was clear. So I start to do my will here, I put that sentence in the center here. And now my 12 different, let's say, arguments or thoughts that support, that the possibility of have extra money, I always have more money than needed. But I have to tell you that this took me like half an hour to do it, okay? I was sitting there like, gosh, this is not true. Well, and then I went, and it's true, because I remember how good it feels to have more money than needed. I do remember, and it feels great. At this moment, I have some extra money in my wallet, the $100 thing. I love it. I like to have extra money. If it happened, it can happen again. So, but to arrive to one of these sentences was like, go inside and okay. Money comes from source, and source is abundant. I know people with extra money, like for sure I have my needs covered and I am ready for extra. To be financially free. I love to choose what I want to do or buy from a place of fulfillment. I love money. That was another one. I am really good at allowing and managing money. I am ready. So I just want to share that, because, from reading the exercise to really do them, to engage with them, it is a bridge here to cross. So if you feel that and again, we don't have to do all of them, I think, is to really find the one that resonates with you and take the time, because we don't change our conditioning, just by reading a book, okay? We have to do our work, okay? So that's what I wanted to share to inspire you to go for it, okay? And now we are going to continue with our journey here. And the ones that you have the book, open page 189, chapter 40. And today is interesting. It's titled, Applying the Becoming Free of Debt Process. So I don't know if you are on debt or not, but let's read here what happened. It's interesting, this. Okay, it says, this process works best if your range of the emotional guidance scale is within the following, between 10 and 22. So here we are going more dense, okay? Remember the other ones were between 6 and 16 or something like that. So from frustration, irritation, impatience, to overwhelmed, to disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, rage, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. So if you are in one of these frequencies, when you think about money, or you notice that you have debts or something like that, maybe this process is for you. So it's up to us to detect what you want to play with. To begin the process of becoming free of debt, obtain a columnar writing pad with as many columns as you have monthly expenditures. That's expenses on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, beginning in the far left column, write a hidden heading that describes your largest monthly outgo. For example, if the largest check you write each month is your house payment, then you would write as a header, house payment. On the first line beneath that header, write the dollar amount of your house payment. Now, circle this amount, which represents the amount you are obligated to pay each month. Hello, Candace, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, house payment. Next, on the first line beneath that header, write the dollar amount of your house payment. Now, circle this amount, which represents the amount you are obligated to pay each month. And then on the third line, enter the total outstanding debt for this house payment category. Next, in the second column, enter your second largest payment, your third largest payment in the third column, and so on. And across the top of your columnar pad, write the following affirmation. And across the top of your columnar, on the top of the columns, it is my desire to keep my promise regarding all of these financial obligations, and in some cases, I will even do twice as much as as is required. Nice. It is my desire to keep my promise regarding all of these financial obligations, and in some cases, I will even do twice required. Open all possibilities. A bill, get out your columnar pad and adjust, if necessary, the minimum monthly amount that is required. If it's the same, then write the same figure. The first time you receive a bill, or when it is time to make the payment for the category that is on the far right column of your pad, in other words, the smallest payment you make each month, write the check for exactly twice what is required. And as you do so, write in the new amount of that outstanding balance. Wow, this I have to really imagine here, because let's see. Okay. This may seem a little strange to you when you first begin to play the game. But even if you do not have enough money to pay everything you owe in all of the columns, still double the payment in the far right column. And feel glad that you have not only kept your new promise to yourself to do your best to pay everything you owe, but to do even twice that amount in some cases. Because you are now looking at your finances in a way that is new, your vibration will begin to shift right away. As you feel even the slightest bit of pride for keeping your word, your vibration will shift. Okay. As you keep your promise about doubling up on some payments, your vibration will shift. And with this shift, even if it is slight, things will now begin to change in your financial condition. You will take the time to really enter everything you owe on Can you hear me? Yes? Okay, I keep going. Because you are, if you will take the time to really enter everything you owe onto the columnar pad, your newly focused attention will begin to positively activate circumstances around the subject of money for you. Instead of feeling discouraged as you find yet another bill in your mailbox, you will feel an eagerness to enter the bill onto your conscious and vibration. Things will begin to change in your financial picture. Money that you were not expecting will appear in your experience. Bargains will reveal themselves, so your dollars will go further than you expected. All kinds of unusual financial things will occur. And when they do, be consciously aware that these things are happening in response to your newly focused attention and the resultant shift in your vibration. As extra money appears, you will find yourself eager to apply another payment to the far right column. And soon, that smallest debt will be paid, and you can eliminate that column from your pad. Column after column will disappear as your financial gap between what is coming in and what is going out widens. Your sense of financial, your sense of financial well-being will improve on the first day you play this game. And if you will take the game seriously, your vibration around money will shift so significantly that you can be debt-free in a short time, if that is your desire. There is nothing wrong with debt, but if yours feels like a heavy burden, then your vibration around money is one of resistance. When the burden has lifted, when you feel lighter and freer, your resistance has lifted. Possible being to flow abundantly into your experience. Any of the processes that help you feel better will also cause a shift in your vibration around money. This is especially powerful if you are troubled about your financial situation, because it will cause you to look at your financial situation from a different perspective. Without realizing it, day by day, you will have adopted a vibrational pattern about money in response to what is happening, but you had no vibrational control when you merely had a feeling response to the situation. This becoming free of debt process elicits from you the same responsible approach that you are accustomed to regarding money, in that it asks you to keep records and to identify the amount of your debt and so on, but it elicits a different perspective from you at the same time. You will immediately begin to feel a shift as you think about what you can do instead of what you are unable to do. It is a pragmatic approach with a playful twist, which will shift your energy in the direction of your desire. If you will continue the process for a few weeks, within that short period of time, your dread and fear that you may have developed around the subject of money will be replaced with hope, fun, and eagerness. This game will lead you out of debt, if that is your desire. It will help you to, once and for all, balance your energy around the subject of money, and it is our promise to you. Once you balance your energy regarding money, your total financial balance will come into alignment as well. Once you balance your energy regarding money, your total financial balance will come into alignment as well. But without the balancing of energies, there can be no financial balance. Wow, this is chapter 40. I would love to open the microphone here to see what you get from this, if you have questions, and something that I'm realizing here. Yes.
What do you mean with balancing the energies between what and what?
Between, I think here, between the debts and the money that you want. So when you are in debt,
okay.
My understanding here is that debt will implies, discomfort, like guilty or whatever, what we will be in debt if not, and in bad debt, let's say, in quotes, you have a mortgage, I think is a wonderful thing if you can pay it every month, but if you go to the hole every month, more and more debt, something that maybe...
I thought it had to do, my interpretation was that it had to do with how you felt about money. You used to feel dread and fear, and this exercise is to help you move toward, hope, fun, and eagerness. So that's how I interpreted it, but...
I think that's the way, yeah. And I don't know here, but this is a question that I have, like to really face the debt, like to look at it, to have the numbers, like to me, it's a little like, to face the money every day, almost relationship with money, so something that will take commitment, and decision to do that. So any other comment about this? Do you understand the columns and everything here?
It seems like a good process for sure. I might try to do that, yes.
Yeah, we see that's the beauty about here. I think, there is so many exercises, and then, we have to pick the one that you like to play, and see what happened with it, So, Candace, do you have the book with you? Do you want to read the next chapter?
Sure.
Okay, so we switch here. Wonderful.
I don't know what the chapter says yet, but I certainly like the idea of turning it over to the manager. So, applying the turn it over to the manager process, chapter 41. Imagine that you are the owner of a very large corporation, and there are thousands of people who work for you. There are employees who assist in the manufacturing and marketing of your products. There are bookkeepers, accountants, and advisors. There are artists, advertising experts, thousands of people, all working to make your company successful. Now imagine that you do not personally work with any of these people, but you have a manager who does. And your manager understands them, advises them, and directs them. So whenever you get an idea about something, you express it to your manager who says, I'll take care of that right away. And he does. Yeah. Efficiently, effectively, precisely, just the way you like it. You may be saying to yourself right now, I'd love to have a manager like that, someone I can count on, someone who would work on my behalf. And we say to you, you do have a manager who is that and much more. You have a manager who works continually on your behalf called the law of attraction. And you have only to ask in order for this universal manager to jump to your request. The key to the success of this process is to make requests with an expectation of the request being fulfilled. It's like asking someone you trust who has never let you down to do something, knowing full well that he or she will get it done. That is the attitude from which you must make your request to the universe. Make your request with the attitude of expecting results. And this process works best if your range on the emotional guidance scale is within 10, frustration, overwhelmment, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger. That's really helpful how they point out, determine where you're hanging out in your feelings first, and then find a process that works for it. It helps. So, neighbor situation. I used to like this neighborhood, but then some people moved in next door, and they are just awful neighbors. Their dog uses our yard for a bathroom, and they have 3 or 4 junker cars parked in their driveway instead of on the street in front of their house. I'm embarrassed to have people over to visit. I feel blame, I feel discouraged, I feel anger. But now I remember I have this capable, effective, willing universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. I would like this dog to find another place away from my yard. I would like these junker cars to be moved from this street. I would like to have a good relationship with my neighbors. I want to be proud to live on this street. Thank you for taking care of these things. Whew. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot there. Home maintenance situation. Our house is costing us a fortune just to keep things working. It wasn't built very well to begin with, and now it's 10 years old and things are constantly breaking down. Every time I turn around, something else needs to be repaired. I feel frustrated. I feel overwhelmed. I feel disappointed. I feel discouraged. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Please find a reasonably priced, talented, versatile repairman. I would like him to determine which things should be replaced, items at very good prices. I want to realize the many advantages of this mature property. I want the past disadvantages of this older property to be eliminated. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. I love it. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm always glad to remember to say thank you too.
Yes, I love it.
Two-way interaction here.
I see you. I just want to say one thing here. Is like I see you a lot in this category, Arne. Really, lighting up and asking for the things, and they appear. The thing is, but yeah. I love the trust. Good. You're really, really good. As a manager, it's like yes, I just need. Last week I had a moment. Because it was interesting with the process of the wheel. I mean, I really touched or opened a deep door here that is cleaning up probably or something, I don't know. But this remember with Catherine Ponder, the dynamics laws of prosperity that we study, and there is a moment when she says something, she tells the story about someone that is super anxious and, you know, didn't have any money or whatever. And then she said, you sit, you know, just sit quiet, you know, and say and know that I am God taking care of the situation. The same sense of this full manager or whatever. And it's funny because I spent this week, I went through something important here, and I remember I was, you know, like my mind was going there. I said, no, come back. And I repeat that mantra. And now I like the idea here, you know, because it's really, you know, to let go and know that, you know, it's taken care of, you know, it's really up to me to just vibrate in peace and comfort and safety, you know. So it was very nice. Thank you.
Yes.
Be still and know that I'm taking care of this. Is that what it says?
This I'm taking care of this situation. That I am God or universe or source or whatever, taking care of this situation.
Wow. Good one. Ready to go on? Adult-child situation. I have an adult daughter who's always mad at me. No matter how much time I spend with her, it's never enough. When I am with her, she spends most of our time complaining about how we don't spend enough time together. And I'm so busy and I don't have much time to spend with her, but it's really not fun to be with her because of the way she feels. I feel guilty. I feel angry. I feel disappointed. But now I remember I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember this manager is really, really good, and I will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Amplify my daughter's best qualities to me. Amplify my best qualities to my daughter. Remind each of us many times a day about what good lives we are living. Orchestrate a really wonderful outing for us to spend together. Take care of some of these details I haven't been spending so much time on. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Wow, I really hear that coming from a mother's heart. Abundant situation. My husband and I both have had jobs for years and we saved some money. Not a lot, but enough to live on for a year. We had a really great idea for our own business and we had a friend who had enough money to help us get started. But now, after 2 years, we're still taking money from our savings to live on, and our balance is going down fast. I feel worried. I feel discouraged. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Please line up a strong, steady flow of customers for us. Inspire a buzz around the area about our business. Inspire us to perform any appropriate action. Help our friend feel our genuine appreciation for his help. Bring us the staff we will need to operate this expanding business. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Nice, huh? Loneliness situation. I don't have many friends. I don't even have one really close friend, and it's not much fun going through life alone. I've had friendships in the past, but nothing that really clicked. It seems like people are just looking for what they can get out of me. But then they don't really want to give anything back to me. I feel discouraged. I feel lonely. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and I will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Please set up some circumstances where I can meet some nice people. Arrange people who are a match to me to rendezvous with me. I would like them to be interesting, fun, and self-sufficient. I prefer meeting people in a way that feels completely natural and unforced. I would like this to begin happening right away. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Now, meddling parent situation. I haven't lived at home for over 10 years, but my mother still thinks that she needs to tell me what to do. So I avoid her because I don't like
that happened after 50 years also.
50?
My mother. Yeah. Oh, little. Keep going.
Oh my gosh. And then she gets mad, and that's even worse. But when we're together, she treats me like I don't know how to live my own life. I feel blame. I feel anger. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective little manager who works expressly for me. So I ask the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Please remind my mother that I am now grown up. Please point out to my mother how very capable I am. Please lovingly soothe any of my mother's discomfort. Guide my mother to other meaningful things she can turn her attention toward. Help my mother know how much I love her. Organize our times together so we're both feeling great. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. I just noticed when I was reading that some feelings come up, so I see I have a little bit of work to do with that one. I'm going to make a little mark to come back to that and spend some time with it. Acting career situation. I've wanted to be an actress since I was a little girl. I took some classes and found out I'm pretty good at it. I get acting work from time to time, but nothing exciting and nothing that I really want. It is hard. There are so many people applying for the same work that I am, it seems hopeless. Maybe I should just forget about it and go get a real job. I feel disappointed. I feel discouraged. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and I will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Arrange some great auditions for me. Get the word out there that I am available and that I am good. Put my resume on the top of the pile for consideration. Line up any trainers who would enhance my evolving talent. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Yeah, and I'm imagining the universal manager coming back and saying, thanks for asking. Financial imbalance situation. I can't get ahead. It seems like things constantly come up, so I have to spend everything I make. And I have a lot of credit card debt too, so I'm really spending more than I'm making. I try to budget, but everything just costs so much. My wife works, and that helps. But as our kids get older, things cost more for them. I feel worried. I feel discouraged. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Arrange for an increase in my wages. Arrange for an increase in my wife's wages. Find lower interest credit cards for us. Remind me frequently what a great life I'm living. Instill appreciation in me and my wife for the wonderful things we have. Guide us in some way to the best financial decisions from where we are now. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Financial security situation. My husband and I have both worked our entire lives. We've always been careful with our money because we know that at some point we would want to retire. We have managed to accumulate a very nice nest egg. Our son, who works as a stockbroker, said we should let him invest it and that we could really increase our savings for our retirement. So we gave him the money to manage, and now it's all gone. Everything that we've worked for our whole lives. I don't see how we'll ever be able to retire. I feel worried. I feel discouraged. I feel blame. I feel anger. I feel insecurity. I feel fear. But now I remember this. I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Help us regain our feeling of prosperity. Find a way of accumulating value from our existing resources, a faster way, find a faster way. Point out any current advantages that we may have been missing. Let our son know that we aren't holding any grudges. Inspire a fresh start and attitude in us. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Travel situation. I feel so limited. I seem to be able to explore or understand only a tiny part of this world. There are so many places I'd like to visit, but I can't get enough time off from work to go very far, or to stay long enough to really discover anything. I feel like I'm missing out on so much. I feel bored, I feel disappointed. But now I remember, do we have this memorized yet? That I have a capable, effective, willing universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Clear a spot in my itinerary for an exploratory vacation. Line up a satisfying route that will satisfy many of my interests on this first trip. See what you can do about getting especially good prices on everything involved. Bring the information to me as you find it, even though the trip is still off a ways. Arrange the financing for this and future trips. That's all for now. Thank you for taking care of these things. An environmental situation. I'm afraid that we're destroying our planet. The air isn't clean anymore. You can't drink this water. It's poison. The fish are dying. The ice caps are melting. I feel blame. I feel anger. I feel insecurity. I feel fear. But now I remember I have a universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Make sure the planetary utilities are performing properly. That is, Earth in orbit, water movement around the planet, gravitational pull. Restore our water to its former purity. Orchestrate appropriate weather for the Earth's well-being. Show me the evidence of Earth's well-being whenever you can. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Boy, that's a good one. Government situation. I'm very tired of the inefficiency of governmental bureaucracy. There are so many government requirements that you have to hire people whom you shouldn't even need just to fill out the bureaucratic forms. You can't even get the bureaucracy on the phone to personally answer a question. I've wasted so much of my time just trying to find out what I'm supposed to do so that I can do it in the way they want it the first time. We need a better bureaucratic system. I feel frustration, I feel overwhelmed, I feel blame. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good, and I will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Line up effective employees for government offices. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of good work to be done there. Help our government create user-friendly guidelines and forms. Bring people to me who understand the requirements. Find a way for us to find easy compliance with these requirements. Remind me often that things are in my greatest interest that I should give attention to. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. Government's financial deficit situation. Our government is so inefficient and ineffective. If it needs more money, it just arbitrarily takes it from us. There's no financial accountability. Money is spent so foolishly, and then they complain that there isn't enough for the things that really matter to us. What a mess. I don't know how anyone could ever straighten it out. I feel disappointment. I feel blame. I feel anger. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Guide people in government to fiscal responsibility. Make arrangements so that we get more for every tax dollar spent. Show me evidence of progress regarding governmental value and efficiency. Put leaders in place who are focused on making things better. I want to see less partisanship and more sincere interest in issues. That's all for now. Thanks for taking care of these things. On national pride situation. When I was a kid, I felt so passionate about my country. I was thrilled when I heard patriotic songs. And I loved to hear stories about things that were happening as our nation was forming and we were evolving. But I don't feel patriotic anymore. I guess I know too much now. I don't feel good about decisions my government is making. I feel disappointment. I feel blame. I feel anger. But now I remember that I have this capable, effective, willing, universal manager who works expressly for me. So I ask for the following, doing my best to remember that this manager is really, really good and will be able to effectively satisfy my requests. Inspire the next generation of leaders and get them ready. Amplify the intentions of the citizens of this nation so that leaders can hear them. Put leaders in place who are responsive to the desires of those whom they serve. Show me things that inspire my pride in my nation. Line up compelling information for our leaders to consider. Remind our leaders that they are responsible to us. That is it for now. Thank you for taking care of these things. Wow. I'm just imagining a world where a lot of people who love Abraham and who are learning these things on their own and in their own way, just naturally, where people are actually putting time and attention to ask for what they want in a higher, more neutral way. I was reading this and realizing that either political party could read this and it would be okay, because that's the place where we all want the same kind of thing, a better life for our families, protection for our country, and all the list of things that we want. And then instead of arguing about how to go about getting it, just hand it up to the universal manager. Anybody else have comments on that?
Well, before we finish this chapter, for me, it's like I'm just getting in touch, with this divine manager, let's call it. And to trust it, it's interesting to me, it's like a prayer, like how many times I ask for things, and then I keep being busy with the worry thing, it's like I can catch my mind, like so busy there, but I can see the cleanness, the simplicity of, please, like just allow, right here, please bring us a steady flow of clients. Thank you so much, because you are the perfect, wonderful, really, really, really good manager. I don't have to think about it anymore, like you take care of it, something like that. So to really, I think at the end is this sensation of really letting go, like, okay, I ask for what I want and let go. That's what I think I need to master in my case right now, like to really play with that divine manager, like, yeah, you take care of it, So feels good, feels really good. The thing is to play more and to integrate it more, to do it more naturally. Now I have to think about it, but beautiful.
Well, good. Well, anybody else? When you first play this game,
You need
may
to
find
open,
yourself.
1 second.
Okay.
I think trust is an important part in there. Like it says in the beginning of it, I know this manager is very effective and will be able to accomplish. And then to really stay and not coming in the next day and say, well, what are you doing? I don't see any results. So I see these things and complaining. So in that, I think would so the time for things to show up. I think it should be. So to trust that it's in the right manner and in the right timing, and possibly keep asking, but not comparing and say, well, you're not doing enough. Then becomes the negative energy there. So trust that the process is working, and it's working in perfect timing, even if I would like it to be in a different timing. So stay with the trust that it is the perfect timing. Many things are falling into place here with many people involved. So there's a big adjustment that needs to be there for that, and to trust that is taking place. I think that's an important part of this process also. Okay.
I think that provides the avenue of energy for spirit. For this universal manager to work with us or to accomplish it. It's just that looking forward, because anything, and trusting that it's going to happen and expecting, because anything else would shut it down. It would be kind of closing the flow off. So I agree. I love that. Important to trust. So when you first play this game, you may find yourself challenging your own requests by doubting that just what we're talking about, the opposite, that your wishes will be carried out by your manager. And of course, if your doubt is more dominant than your desire, you will be right, and you will see no evidence of your intentions being satisfied. If you will continue,
I read ahead, I guess, in the book without knowing it.
Exactly. If you will continue to play the game, getting into the spirit of delegating to this universal manager, your doubts will fade, your expectations will increase, and you will get evidence that will confirm the power of your own mind. It is an exciting day when you come into your conscious awareness of the amazing power of your intentions. We cannot begin to describe to you the resources that you have at your fingertips. Those that defy description are standing in readiness to assist you. You have only to find a way to access those resources, and the turning it over to the manager process is just the tool to help you do that. Over time, this process will change your perception of your life. And when your perception of your life changes, your life will change. When your perception of your life changes, your life will change. Woo!
Wow.
I think Jeroen wanted to say something also.
Yeah, just because I'm a kind of the realistic guy and always questioning, and also looking for the sense in things, and some kind of you can see all these writings as it's a little bit paranormal, but it's also on the other hand a way to deal with things that we cannot deal with directly, and I also think what's helpful for me in this way of thinking is that I always focus on one thing at a time. I think this holds for everybody, but particularly for me. But if I'm hopeless about other things, I cannot focus on even the one thing that I try to focus on. So if I have some kind of manager idea of somebody taking care of things while I'm doing something else, realistically, that might actually help. And then, of course, you need to trust that person, otherwise it still doesn't help, because if you ask for things and you don't trust it, you're still going to be worrying about them yourself. So you cannot do the one thing that you do in a certain moment. And then, yeah, you stay stuck, basically. So, yeah, it's a way to get unstuck for me, basically.
Again, I think that really talks about the trust aspect of it, that as we try it, it might work kind of thing, or probably will work. Actually, I think for me, the challenge is actually remembering to apply the process, you know, instead of, oh, I read it, so therefore I got it, so I'm just going to continue forward, and not actually slow down enough to do it, you know, to remember to make that request to my universal manager. You know, anyway.
That I think is the key, Jera, and I totally with you, because I can see my doubts. I can see I make the prayer. I can see I can call it divine manager or source or whatever, you know, and it's super easy. But then I catch myself, you know, like focusing on worried or something that kicks in, and like, shit, you know, here it is again. Or, you know, so I could see the dance, you know, between, you know, how the doubt comes in and start to take over my attention, and just relax and trust and allow it. And then it's like, you know, I feel more and more that way, but I also feel I am more and more aware of when I am not there. You know, it's like, okay, here we are again, you know, like, all right. But to really trust, you know, so I agree with you, Candace, in the sense of applying practice with the process. You know, just at the beginning of our mastermind today, you know, like took me half an hour of time. I mean, really the willingness to sit down, you know, and to play with my wheel, the one that we did last week, you know. Where do I have that? I don't know where I put it here. And, you know, just this little paper with all the process back and forth or whatever, half an hour of dedication, and imagine that I do that every day, you know, I mean, for a while until I really switch, you know. So what I did one day. So what I'm saying here is that to really find a process that you have fun with, to apply it, you know, and then we will see results. But I mean, if we talk about it, it's interesting that, you know, we will keep in the same place. So that's what I noticed for myself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, thank you so much, Candace, for the reading. Yes, you want to say something more?
Well, I was just going to say I also did my focus wheel and spent a reasonable amount of time on it. Actually, I did it in 2 sections. I got as far as I could go for part of it. Then the next day I changed ink and finished it. There just wasn't any more coming, and I just went, okay, let go. I came back to it.
And congratulations, you know.
Thank you.
That takes intention.
I also stopped because in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 statements about my issue, which was procrastination, I got a shift. And I had to put the thing down because I had some things I needed to get done. So it was good. It was really working. So
that is so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So yeah, so but it takes dedication. It takes attention. What I'm saying is like you have to sit down and do it, you know. Mm-hmm. So let's see what time is. Well, we have 4 minutes. I think we can skip starting the next chapter and just keep commenting here. We have something more to comment, or we can close. What do you think, Arne?
Yeah.
And we will continue next week, chapter 42, page 205, just for the ones that we have the book here. But let's practice this week with the divine, I call it divine manager. I don't know why, but the super, super, super good manager. I mean, he's the best, okay? Super efficient. You don't have to think about anything else. I give that to my manager and she takes care of everything here. So let's see how much we can really trust that, you know, and play with it, with the idea. I love it, by the way. You know, I remember when I came from Spain, that I sold my house and my clinic the same week. So suddenly I had a lot of, you know, whatever. And I always call that moment, you know, oh my gosh, this is God's account, God's bank account, you know, like a lot of money going in. And I had the experience. That's what I did the will, you know, the other day, the experience of, you know, like flowing, not even thinking about it. And I think that was, for me, I think the big mistake, like not really appreciating it, but I do enjoy, I do remember the feeling, you know. So it was interesting. Yes, Anna, you wanted to say something, I think.
Yeah, I had an example here. I wanted to create a driveway for our house, and I asked for help. So then this guy shows up like an angel, and it's perfect. And then after 4 days, he didn't show up one day, and I was able to stay in the mood of that. This is perfect. There's a perfect situation here, and this is the best for all concerned at this very moment, that he is not here today. And the next day he came, and it was perfect because of payments to him and with the work he needed to do, what I needed to do, that I didn't have time to be with him during that day. So it was actually perfectly orchestrated, even though it was not what I asked. Well, it was what I asked for. I asked for the driveway to be help with the driveway and have it done. But if I would have been stuck, well, how it has to be done, then I would have been getting into a negative mode, and I don't know what would have happened then. But I was able to the trust, and it's been proceeding really, really well to that space when it doesn't show exactly the way we think it should. That's a challenging moment to stay with the trust. Like, okay, there is something that I don't see right now, that this is a perfect situation. So trust that and see what's coming next. And if you do that, then you will have actually you will, well, in my experience here, it is being accomplished.
Okie dokie. Well, I think we are, thank you so much, Arne, for that. And wonderful, you know, beautiful to, I think, you know, is to have that ability that I always see you have to see, you know, the higher perspective, you know, like I'm sure this is perfect somewhere. And then you run that show, you know, instead of, you know, complaining about or whatever it is that I do more often. But I mean, the idea is, you know, to be aware of, and then we can choose more. Where do I want to put my attention here? You know, I want to complain or I want to celebrate and feel gratitude, you know? So I think that is the big switch from all this journey with Abraham here, you know, like to really get, you know, that we have this power of intention, and it's up to us. I stay focused on what I want, or I keep entertaining myself on what I don't want and what I think I know, and blah, 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 you know. So I think we have a lot of power here and a lot of joy playing with all these exercises. Let's have our manager super busy this week, you know, because he loves to work for us. So let's make it a beautiful prayers, you know, like make the list, you know, like make your prayer, you know, like make your prayer and send it out and thank you so much, and counting that the manager is really, really good, okay? So we share next week what happened with this one. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for your attention here. And if you need comments or you want to be on the panel here with us, you have to write Arne, A-R-N-E, at unlimitednetwork.com. And then we can send you a special link that we need to be here. But besides that, thank you so much, guys. I love you. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Thank you. Great.